Brought to you by Brand South Africa.
Godfrey Mutizwa caught up with Diana Layfield, CEO of Standard Chartered Africa, and asked her what excited her about the continent.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, our excitement about Africa isn't new, having been in the continent for over 100 years. But we think there's a new and different step change in Africa's performance that's likely to come over the next few years. Well, I think we've all seen that over the last 10 years, 6 out of the 10 fastest growing geographies in the world were African. And we believe, in common with the IMF, that till 2015 that will step up to 7 of the 10 fastest growing geographies in the world. So I think the sheer growth in the African continent is one of the most exciting dimensions.
Yeah.
What I think is new about that is that the sustainability of that growth is different. What you've seen in the past is a series of commodity cycles of boom and bust and some interesting governance challenges.
Yeah.
And I think there are 3 things that we think are different this time. The first is that actually the growth is now broad-based.
Right.
If you look in previous years, the vast majority of growth has been around commodities. In the last decade, only 25% of that growth was hard commodities based. So 75% of the growth was of new, broader industries. It does include agriculture, but it includes telecoms, construction and broader community industries. So for that's a huge source of positive drive for us. The second is around governance in Africa.
Right.
There are still challenges, as you know, and there will be different countries with different issues.
I was going to challenge you on that.
But we'll come back to that because it cuts both ways. But I think the overall level of governance in key African markets has made steady progress over the last 10 years. And it's the steadiness of that progress and the consistent upward trend that gives us real cause for optimism.
Yeah. What's your sense, though? Are you finding that this new political stability, and it can't really be new because we've been talking about it for the past 10 years or so, are you getting the sense that this is the beginning of a new era for Africa and that this stability will be here to last?
Absolutely. I think what you see...
What gives you the optimism, though?
I think there are a couple of things. If you took somewhere like Nigeria, for example,
Yeah.
the engagement of the population in the process, you saw in the recent protests, it wasn't just about the fuel. A lot of that was against corruption and around having a real voice in the government. And I think across Africa, you're seeing much greater empowerment of the people in a positive sense. So I think, and I think finally, frankly, the greater affluence, the greater connection in global trade means that there are more levers for people to pull around that. So for us, we think it is a sustainable.
So talk to us about where you're putting your money in Standard Chartered before we talk about, of course, the trade flows and finances that you're seeing coming into Africa.
Well, I think, first of all, we intend to invest across our region. So
this is the whole of Africa.
That would be, well, it'll be first of all the 14 markets in which we currently operate, and our priorities within those will be the big growth drivers at the moment. So places like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Botswana. So there are a number of markets we would focus on, but actually even in some of the smaller markets like Sierra Leone, we see opportunities for new growth. So I think we see opportunities within our existing markets. We do also see opportunities in markets we're not currently in, so Mozambique, Senegal, among others, and potentially in the longer term Ethiopia as well.
Right.
So the challenge for us is making sure we balance investment in strong existing businesses with investment.
Are you committing fresh funds into Africa in terms of your own capital as a bank to grow the business? How much are you committing?
We don't actually specify, because the reason for that is simply that depends. We will make that judgment on a year-on-year basis.
Okay.
But if you look at the past year, we've invested new capital into a number of our businesses. We're currently investing new capital into Zambia. We've invested new capital into Nigeria. So pretty much the same in Kenya. We've actually done a rights issue in Kenya. So there's I think a pretty consistent level of capital investment going into the key.
What's the target in terms of the number of countries that you want to be in Africa? You're in 40 now. Where are you going? How many are you looking at? In what sort of time frame?
I'm honest, we don't have a target, because the judgment we have to make is what is the right time and what is the right market. And so in some sense it is literally a trade-off between, do we move into Mozambique, do we increase the scale of the business in Nigeria? So I think it's fair to say that our focus will primarily be organic, so investing in businesses rather than just acquiring businesses. And I think it's more likely to be primarily on the markets we're in. But as I say, we do believe there are some exciting new markets that we could move into over the next 5 years.
Thanks, Diana. We're running out of time. Final question. And in terms of money, fresh funds that are coming to Africa, new money that's coming to Africa, where are you seeing that coming from? People speak about the East, people speak about some traditional markets from the West. What are you seeing?
Again, we're seeing quite significant investment from everywhere. Europe's now looking for places to put money that it thinks is high growth and safer. We've seen a huge influx from China, as you know. I think the place that people don't really recognise is India. There's quite a lot of Indian investment coming into Africa, which I think balances some of the China flows. We're also starting to see interest from Southeast Asia as well. So from the rest of our core markets in Asia, Africa and the Middle East, we're starting to see a focus on Africa by those other markets.